Introduce you and then hi all. So we are live today. I'm hosting my first podcast. I have been on a lot of podcasts and I love talking, but this is my first podcast as a host. So bear with me and let me know in comments if you have any feedback. If you are joining us from LinkedIn, YouTube or Twitch, today I have with us Mr. Dipesh Gaurav, the founder and CEO of Gaurav Go Technologies, the company which has been recognized by ISB as the top 10 gaming startups, and it has received recent appreciation from our president Draupadi Murmu as well. So welcome Dipesh.
Hello everyone. Thanks Megha for having me in, and thanks a lot for providing me the stage and for the podcast. And hello everyone, myself Dipesh Gaurav, the team lead of Gaurav Games. We are Eastern India first game development studios, and currently we are making a battle royale game where user can earn without any investment.
Nice, that's great. And someone Shibam has already pinged that 100, that okay, they are really happy to have us having this conversation. So I'll open the house with one question, Gauravji. What is the idea behind the cultural integration Sena have? Like, I have not seen it much, and I'm not from gaming background. But when I was having a discussion with my husband, so he was talking about like Sena is more, I can connect more to Sena apart from like Counter Strike or PUBG, because it has mythology, it has something similar which we see on roads in India. So that is where that idea came from, and how did you go about it?
Exactly. So in my childhood, I was playing certain games. These were quite popular, like Counter Strike, GTA, IGI. And when in my teenage, the games popular are like Temple Run, PUBG, or Clash of Clans. These games provide only a partial experience because the users were not connected with deeply within the environment. Recently, China launched a gaming studio in China launched the first AAA game developed in China called Black Myth Wukong. So China even have now their first AAA game in 2024. But the US's countries, the country European, have the tendency of creating AAA games much ahead. In the game that recently launched, Yukong, that gained a huge traction and audience, the Chinese has provide cultural inclusivity, the environment, the Chinese tone, the actor, the story, everything. From a player perspective, when we both are child or a teenage, or if we see anyone playing the games, we found out that he is playing the game out of a normal experience, just to time pass or connect with friends. But imagine when someone is playing cricket, we have commentary in Hindi. When we are chatting with each other, we chat in English, not in completely English or not in completely Hindi, but English. Because we want a feel
Right,
of ourselves, a regional diversity. And here the gaming part
right,
we are lacking. Despite India having biggest youth population, the country gaming market only stand on $3 billion, whereas the global gaming market stand on $300 billion, and the Chinese gaming market stand on $40 billion. There's also a scope of improvement we identified that making the game more culturally geographically inclusively fit for the gamers can provide a better, broader experience. A player playing in Delhi can see the Delhi nearby places. A player in Hyderabad can see nearby Hyderabad places and can feel more connected, or a virtual life can enjoy a virtual life inside the games. This was the
right.
point, and we feel the sense or the purpose when during the Galwan or the Chinese clash with Indian troops, the Indian government banned multiple Chinese apps, including TikTok and PUBG. And at that time, we identified that despite of India having the biggest developer population also, we are not much fit in gaming market. There are certain games which come as a copy-paste of previously available games, and the games also duplicate or focus on global market, or on more focus on US or European markets. But on deeper research, when we talk with multiple rural gamers or urban gamers, we identified that every Indian household have games in their phones, either in their child phones or in their elder person's phones of any types. Hyper casual, casual. If we say hyper casual, these types of games like that can be played in 10 minutes. And when we are saying hardcore, these are a multiplayer game that need around 30 minutes of playing time that can contain violence in graphics. So these types of games are highly present in the Indian mobile consumers' mobile phones, but they lack the Indian graphics. But then also we identified the success of gaming influencers. When we see gaming influencers, they are streaming a foreign game with Indian tone. They are
Yes.
speaking in Hindi, speaking in the regional languages. They are speaking dialogues of games, and they are earning a lot of money because the real-time gamers enjoy them playing the games, watching their commentary or dialogues in Hindi or any other regional languages, feeling them connected. And we decided let's make it better. Let's make some game with Indian tone, Indian touch, Indian feel. If person playing a game can really relate with himself or herself when they are enjoying.
Right. I think I understood that if someone can relate and whatever they have been brought up with, and they stay around those things, that is when they enjoy the game most. So I
Exactly.
have not been into a lot of gaming, but yes, my next question will be uh, more on the business side, like challenges in developing Sena, because as far as my conversation goes with your team or you have been hiring a lot of freelancers and interns from the very beginning, and then how did you go about being like top 10 gaming startups in India, from starting from with interns with a lot of college students? How did you do that?
The journey was really tough, as we both know entrepreneurs, so journey is tough and difficult. And in part of gaming, it's a tremendous difficulty because we are not getting the rightful talent. If I share a data with you, none of the engineering college in the entire Eastern India, North-Eastern India, teach game development, including IITs, NITs, and BITs. None of the colleges teach game development as a full-time course. They have the specialization in AI, ML, data science,
Yes.
IoT, but not in game
Not.
development. The
Yes.
second problems we identified is also the institutes which are present or the online courses available in the gaming are not focused particularly on developing a real-time industry project.
Okay.
And gradually we are making games a first person shooter games, usually a story type RPG, role playing games. We
Role
make the
play.
game on Abhinandan, we made a game on Biju Patnaik. These games are an experiment. We are testing the audience love that we are getting or not. But
Right.
gradually we are only limited to PC games. If you can
Right.
see, till 2022 we are limited to PC games. Then we decided it's the time to move for mobile and to move for battle royale games.
Right.
The biggest part is making a battle royale game usually cost on an average as per market standard millions of dollars and 4 to 5 years.
Right.
We can in that podcast I'm not naming the global or Indian players in the industry, but they have been funded around an average of $10 million and developing their product for the last 2 to 4 years and still not launch their product in the market. The problem is that the problem is with talent. We have a very limited talent occupancy in game development. People usually shift to other domains, and those who are quite talented move ahead to foreign countries for on a better pay scale.
Got
Then
it.
the second problems comes with the creativity. Our education system made people non-creative. They
Right.
usually focus on CGPA, percentage, scoring marks, getting a job, doing assignment, doing learning things. and here people become non-creative. These things go well with other domains, but when you are gaming, you need to be an artist by self and developer by mind. And at that time when I decided to pick some students who are quietly dedicated and are committed for the project. I started picking first year students, second year students, third year students who have a limited time of around 1 to 2 years and have some set of skills or hardware available. Gradually, I got a team, and then we face a second limitation that those are the students are like doing their college work and also working in the evenings. So we start a second batch of training. Gaurav Co provides training to few of the students and they join us and they continuously work. Subsequently, we solve our technical problems, but then the second problems come with the marketing. And here we start collaborating with influencers and brands via our partnership approach. We get some very good talents such as Manuswani, Sonu, those who are also in touch with you, Rahul,
Right.
and these persons made things possible for marketing partnership. The milestone we achieved recently is with the completion of multi-session gameplay, a technical topic that millions of gamers will play subsequently and server get created on a gaming platform subsequently. Is the content or the guidance was not available on YouTube and
Okay.
our persons made it possible.
That's really nice, that kind of talent and teams you have formed, and then you have your own training kind of, a lot of service and product companies do that, they have in-house capability training centers, and then they train the people, like we have recruitment and hiring, and we get into these kind of companies, and we get trained for the job. And don't you think like you should open one game at tech, like if people want to get into game development? I also haven't seen anything, no institutes, no IITs, no other good colleges. Everyone is talking about generative AI, ML, launching a lot of courses, or branches for that, but nobody's talking about game development. Why don't you open some coaching business as well on the side, because you already have set up the training school internally? uh, will that be something which Gaurav Go Technologies or you as the founder will look to approach, or pursue that avenue?
We have certain plans for it. In the nearby future, we are planning for making it possible. But as of now, we are currently too much focused on making Sena a success and also expanding into multiple domains.
Got
We have set an industry example because in this part of India, people are mostly focused on government jobs and a large number of talent usually shift to other cities or other places in the country in search of jobs.
absolutely correct.
When we started making game development, there was a question is what is game development, and people assume us that we are making real money games or gambling games because, and few people also disagree or did not believe that we can make a game like BGMI or Free Fire. And when at the current time moment when we are matching all the functionalities and graphical set, these people found us appreciating, and that's the only secret we have met within 14 months of company incorporation. We have met into top 10 gaming startups and have been appreciated at certain level. The key
Absolutely
secret is team, and the key secret is the talent we identified.
right, absolutely. So if you go for any startup handbook, or if you go for the startup playbook by Sam Altman, also he talks about idea, and then he talks about the great people. So finding great people is something like essential part of building any startup, be it ed tech, be it e-commerce, or be it a tech startup or a game startup. So you also spoke about in the games where you can earn. So it's like a play to earn model for Sena also. Like we can earn something if we play that game.
Yeah, Megha, so that's the important part of our podcast. When you are in your college or when you travel in India somewhere, you see people playing games. So people playing games for mostly three reasons. One is for stress reduction. If they have
Right.
some free time, they want to play the game for the stress reduction for their from their ongoing works. The second is connected with the friend. During the COVID times, a lot of people are playing online games for the connection with their friend and family members and reducing the stress. The third types of games is for the wish of earning money or getting fame. These things we see in youths, they play a game lot, becoming are earning, posting WhatsApp status, sharing that I have unlock a new level or streaming the game online. When we were starting the module and we are researching on Sena Mayaverse, we identified and talked with multiple gamers, and the biggest reason we identified is none of them were happy. They were playing the games because they are enjoying, but they know that they don't have much time to play the games ahead. Their parents also did not appreciate their gaming habits. And when in the first time on the world, EA Sports is going into Olympics, gaming influencers are earning a lot of money. Still, this sector remain underrated. The
Yes.
problem is most of Indian youths are not basically trained in communications or not have the rightful hardware for streaming. Even if they are good speakers, they did not have good internet connection for streaming their games in the village
Right.
or area.
Right.
We look on the models that how multiple businesses like YouTube is paying for the creators or TikTok is paying in other countries for the creators. Instagram from the creators are earning if they are good followers. Why can't gamers can earn when they are playing games and identify the idea of a gamified metaverse where we are connecting D2C and B2C brands with the gamers or the target users. They are also looking our age group 13 to 23 within the game they can promote without interrupting the user gameplay in a way of non-interrupting advertisement or in-game advertisements. The motive is when the businesses will be paying us for their promotions, we'll be sharing a part of this money with the gamers. And
Okay.
when the gamers will be getting an income, if we taking a village person whose father is a farmer and mother is just a housewife, and he is earning around even a minor amount that we can say 100 rupees per day on
Right.
a monthly basis, he can earn around 3000 rupees per month, and that means a lot for him in comparison to the previous time. Gradually it will increase from the company side, it will increase the retention on our part. If the user is earning, he will also like to spend money on business part, on the business part. And last point, he will get a best satisfaction because his or her all desires getting fulfilled. He want to earn money, he is earning money. He want to enjoy with friends, he is enjoying with friends playing the game. He want to play a game in an Indian environment, he is playing a game in Indian environment, calling with his friends.
Got it.
And yeah,
Yeah, yeah, go on, go on, please, please add more, because I have, very limited knowledge, and I'm sure that 116 people who are live with us, most of us may be from Gaurav Go Technologies, but others, if they have joined us from my LinkedIn or YouTube, uh, they might have, just like me, limited knowledge on how a game is developed and what goes behind, doing this play to uh, earn kind of model. So please, please carry on and share more and more insights.
the biggest pain point we are solving, Meghaji, is making the child earn a money because when we are child, we at a certain age point we experience that we need to support our families, or if having an extra pocket money can help us in some way. So we are solving their pain point, making them enjoy and living a better life, improving their experience, gaming experience overall.
Right, right. But I think, uh, like I really appreciate the fact that you were not scared of the fact that in India, parents and a lot of elders see gaming as wasting of time, and uh, like killing time and not doing anything useful. So you would have to go through that phase, change everyone's thinking, and the way they look at gaming, and create that awareness, and then get people to let their children play, and play to earn, as well as be more relaxed. And if I would talk, gaming and development are also related. If you are a good gamer, you are a good developer. So I've heard that many times from many people. So you never got scared that you will have to create such an awareness, and then it's a very long and hard journey, and I think you have already spent 40 months, as you said, or more than 2 years, and then you got a lot of talent. I think you have a lot of people on board, and then you are creating this awareness. So where does that motivation comes from?
The motivation comes from the pain I see with the child or children or friends or families or the teenage. When a children is born, the parents first thing the parents teach him is gaming. They provide him a, we call in Hindi chunchuna. They provide him a playing toys that the child keep playing. When the child grew, he got a 5 years. Parents took all the toys from him and handle him the books because the parent wants him a better future. And with gaming or with any types of games, as Indians, we are lacking on the sport or gaming field. Despite of having this huge population, if we compare our Olympic medals or our e-sport players earning, we are lacking with the low population countries because sports or gaming is not well appreciated. The reason is low income associated with it. Parents identify gaming as gambling because
Yes.
there are lots of games on Google Play Store where you need to invest money to earn money,
Yes.
and that's a real gamble. With parents help their child to stop these addictive habits of investing money in hope of earning money. They teach their child to work hard to earn money. And with
Yes.
Gaurav, we are solving the same dilemma. We are here not asking money from the gamers, from the users at any point of time, and making the users earn. When we are doing a survey among the gamers, we also talk with the parents. We ask the parents who are not much aware of what exactly gaming is. We want ask the parents what you hate most. Your children playing game for around 4 hours, or your children getting non-productive. They said they want their children to live a better life than themselves they have lived. And at that point of time, we provided them a second option. If your child can earn money while playing game without investing money, is it all right? And they were quite pretty happy. They also have very less expectations from their children, but they want to get their children a better life. With the part Sena Mayapur, the secret is these companies like YouTube or Twitter or Instagram, they all have now a creator module where creators can earn money, but they took a lot of profits from the creators also subsequently, and making the creators work very hard until they have tens of millions of followers. When you want to reduce that pain point, if you don't need any of the followers, you just need yourself, your time, your pleasure, and your performance. You can enjoy the game while you want, how you want, and earn money. For convincing the parents, we found out the way that if the gamer or the children earn money, the first the child will do is give something to his father or mother, or if he have some friend, see they will be gifting themselves from their money, and at that point we found a emotional satisfaction among the family members that yeah, this person is doing some productive work in some sense. We also identified that with the government promoting both the gaming and e-sports or the sports sector, the parents as of now are more aware than before. We know that
Yes,
yeah,
see,
this is also a career option, and that's all things make our path more easy than before.
that's really good to know. So I would like to tell you that my journey, and we were talking when we were backstage. DevRel also is a very upcoming and new field, especially in India. It has been there in the US and UK, and advocating for developers. Like, there are influencers, but talking in interest of developers, talking about what a product could do for them, and if it is not able to do, then taking that feedback to the company. That is something very new, and for me also there's a lot of awareness that needs to be created, both for the businesses as well as people there. And yeah, similar to you, my motivation also comes from the some problems I faced firsthand during my life and then professional experience. So I think I will open the house for some questions, and then we will take more questions. Like, I have framed few more questions, but I think first I can see a lot of comments for you. Uh, so we have Satish, Bakwash, Shriman, Mindset Pros, Tanmay, Shibam. Any questions for Gaurav ji? So I'm doing an interim question answer Q&A break, and after that I'll again go back and start talking with Gaurav. I'll put more questions on the business, on the startup, and on the gaming things, and any future plans. So any questions? Supriya is giving a lot of hearts to us. So Gaurav ji, if you know, Supriya is one famous LinkedIn influencer, showing a lot of love. And thank you, Supriya, for joining in. Okay, I think we can continue. There are no questions, just a lot of love, and a lot of people are saying, Chinmay is saying that very 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 nice initiative. Thank you, Chinmay. So now, Gaurav ji, I want to know about your startup journey, because I am a very new founder. So I am looking to learn from founders, and I want to know, like, when you started, it's been 40 months or 2 years plus, 2 years, a few months. Did you go for grants from the government, or did you bootstrap, or did you raise some funds, pre-seed, seed? What did you do? How did you pursue that?
So we basically get the grants from the government from multiple sources, including Startup India, Startup Orissa, and recent funding from HTPI. We also got a SHA and term sheet from a private investor that we took, put it on hold because there was not much money required from our end. And from the team side, or from my experience, I started back around 4 years when I was a student with a mini startup called Naya Bazaar EduTech. That was an EduTech startups. We were working in a college room, and I found the college first startup at that time. Was not even understood with what the startups usually mean, and find it that yeah, something creative is going on, and let's be a part. And we co-founded along with my seniors. Naya Bazaar was going well for around 6 months. Then COVID lockdown comes, and we are not friendly with working remote. Uh, then we move on a second startup, and that's at that time I identified that gaming is such a field that we can move look on it. Have developed few of the games when I was in class 11, but at that time, both my teachers and my parents told me that this did not have some scope or the future. It's better to move on something better. When Indian government start banning Chinese games, and there was a public call from PM Narendra Modi ji to develop games in India, I took the call and connected with some of my friends whom I never meet except one in my life at that time, and we decided to form Gaurav Games, and we developed first game working 3 months. Strike and Encounter for Nation by Abhinandan. The team was quite motivated. We got a lot of media coverage and support appreciation around lakhs of downloads. But on a gradual day, when the time passes, the team lost its motivation, because motivation is something that get out ignited you once, but discipline keeps you going. Then we formed another game back in 2022. We call it Bhumiputra. That's a bigger part of my journey, because with the Sena, I just tested the market, but with Bhumiputra, I decided that I need to get it in. At that time, I have certain job offers from various companies, but when we develop Bhumiputra games, our insight comes from when few of our members who give me certain messages that when they have gone with their family members to purchase vegetables, the vegetable seller asking them in Korea that when your game will come. My child is asking, we're watching on the TV channels, or when one of my game member goes to their village in Orissa remote location, the students from the government school is asking them that you were in the team when the game will be coming. When I understand that, yeah, we have created this much of impact that people are waiting for it, looking for it. We need to make it bigger. And at that time, I decided to move it into it. The biggest investment I received is from the team members. They have invested a lot of time, a valuable time that I can't purchase with money, and their courage, their daring. Because I- if we classify Mega as a startups have three parts. One is a startup. When we start, we are quite motivated that yeah, we are going to do it. Then comes the biggest part, sacrifice. We need to sacrifice a lot, get into a lot of mental and social pressure, and finally success comes. And people usually look on the two paths. One is starting up and getting into the success, but there is a longer part of sacrifice. The members, all the members of Gaurav Group who are currently working, face a lot of challenges both in terms of hardware, network, remote connectivity, learning connectivity, and challenges. From my leader perspective, so there were certain times when I asked my members to do things in 2 days, and I know they did not have that idea or expertise or experience, because they were the new persons as I am. But I have the confidence on them, and they have the capability of handling the stress. They learn the things in 1 day and implement the another day. Anyone looking for startups, is the best option is to connect with some incubators. There are a body called AIC. We are supported by AIC Nalanda. So there are certain AIC Atal Incubation Centers who are the non-profit incubators. They usually fund with two options. One is grant that usually range from 5 lakh to 25 lakhs, and another is CCP or debentures or loans that usually go from 10 lakhs to 50 lakhs of rupees at a nominal interest rate. And in case the business model is not much innovative, still it's a startup or ongoing innovation, they can get support from STPI. STPI is set a equity transaction labs. They took certain equity, and fund will come from ministry via STPI.
Nice. That's a very good bunch of information. So everyone there, as Gaurav ji is mentioning, you can get grants, and then you can get loans at very nominal interest rates from AICs, and then you can also get funding again.
STPI. Yeah.
From KPI against the equity. So that is something I am also recently coming across and learning these things. So yeah, Gaurav ji, these are the things where it is all over, on Startup India and over the internet, but not many people. Such as me were knowing about all these, but when we get into the startup journey, we start finding out, and when then we start learning these things. So not these this information is not readily discussed or available, that people talk about this or know about this. So a lot of awareness gap, as you also mentioned, schools and colleges make us not creative, and they actually tell us, okay, take orders, do not think much, this is the best way to go, just do a job, just get the job. However, I would not link businesses and startups with wealth creation, because it's a very wealth creation comes on little later. It's a very long and hard journey, and you are trying to solve a problem you are passionate about, and then wealth creation will come a little later as a byproduct. But yes, job is not the only option, and that I think Make in India program and recent things which are going on in India, and those awareness, not only people are seeing games as a new career, but also startups and starting something of our own as a new career. I have been to IIT Kharagpur. I saw students starting up in second year. I was shocked. I was like, I'm already 30 plus, so I was in my 30s back then as well. And I was shocked that okay, people are starting up in second year, and I have been thinking since so many years, I'll start up one day. I'll start up one day. So I think that is where a lot of information and awareness needs to fill in, and a lot of role models need to step up and talk about their journeys and stories, that it's okay not to know many things. I did not know anything before I decided to start up, and it's become a little easier. Like earlier, India, it was very hard in India to do something like this, but now it is becoming easier. And seeing your journey, because you have built such a huge gigantic team, and you are talking about developing a game, that too based on something where solutions do not exist readily on YouTube or Udemy or Coursera. So you are figuring out those solutions and doing it all by yourself, and then you're funded by ministries or AIC. But it takes a lot of courage, and seeing you gives me a lot of courage, that okay, I should also keep going on until unless I find my success, or that point where I feel, yes, I have done something. So thank you so much for sharing that journey, your motivation, reason, and all the things. And I now want to ask you my final question for today. What are the future plans and innovations Gaurav Go Technologies is looking at, and what are your plans for Sena?
We identified the global market into a following trend. What happens in US is gradually followed in India. So currently the US market there is a hype of AI with ChatGPT, Gemini, and cloud. All the persons are currently on a very higher scale investing in AI companies. But once these things will come on normal, the second biggest trend is coming with metaverse. We use Unreal Engine for game development, and the parent company of Unreal Engine is Epic Games. They have recently raised $1 billion in funding, one of the biggest funding in US, for developing metaverse. Facebook has changed its name from Facebook to Meta. These
Absolutely.
things are very well planned steps into a bigger journey or bigger action. And when we and that's why Facebook is not in AI race. They have open source their LMA model.
Right.
When we connect the steps one by one, we identify that all these companies, Facebook with Meta, Apple with Apple Vision Pro, Google with their Maps, and Microsoft with their Team version for open communication, Epic Games with Fortnite, all these companies are making people into a broader vision of connectivity where they have understood that yeah, this is time over for screen devices. We have HD 4K, 8K, 12K devices, but now we need seamless vision integration. And here metaverse comes in India. Once the trend will start in US, Indian investors will get bullish into the gaming part. We are not much concerned with investment because are more focused on user experience. Currently, we are developing a battle royale game focusing on Indian context gaming experience. On a second scale, we are focusing on monetization. Once our game is ready, players are playing our games. We are implementing business advertisement inside our games, and we are making users earn. When these two things are done, we are going on into a third stage or the final stage, metaverse. The journey we want you to imagine is you are wearing the glasses along with the other persons in the family. These glasses are smart glasses made by some other companies or hardware companies supporting our application. And when you switch on our application, you feel like you are at some place in India moving, playing, enjoying, connecting, chatting with your family members. Inside Sen, we call it Sena Mayaverse because inside Mayaverse, you can do anything without any certain limitation. If you want to just roam inside the place, you can roam, race, date, connect, fight, compete with each other. The best part is you can earn while you are doing these things without doing any extra effort. You did not even need to look on the advertisement. This just look like your real life where you are just passing by some busy road of the roadside in a city and you are seeing some advertisement on the top of the billboard, but you are not focusing on it. You just move on. And here inside the game, we are paying the gamers to just do it. Our vision is for the gamers to earn a money because there is a lot of unemployment on a practical side if we see on Indian scale and a global scale. Around the data, more than 4 billion people play games around globally, and half of them are unemployed or they are children, teenage who are not looking for earning monies. At that time, we are focusing on a global scale to make those people earn and enjoy at the same time without any stress. And for businesses, we are looking to connect with them. And on a game development scale, we are pioneering Indian Eastern India game development, but we are focusing more on becoming India's biggest game development studio in upcoming time.
Nice. I think that's a lot of future plans and innovations. And one more thing I would like to ask. So, how will you support the next generation of game developers? You talked about you hire people, you train them, and then they. And I also asked about any edtech idea, and you said you have plans. So, how will you guide people who want to get into game development, who want to know how to get started or what to learn, where to look into? So how will you do that?
We are right now raising funds, and post once we are done with fund raise, we are planning to scale our domains into UGC, AR, and other domains of gaming. We are planning to hire the freshers or the trainees via our trainee program. We are going ongoing a trainee program where we took the students without any interviews. We just ask their consent that yeah, if you can work 4 months, 1 month of training and another 3 months of project based training, and over on a performance based stipend, we just train them. Once these things are done, we are providing them a full-time employment opportunities inside Gaurav Group.
Okay.
On a bigger note, when Sena Mayaverse is live and the product is live, there is a new trend called UGC. This is the newest technology innovation. UGC, we call it as user generated content.
Right.
Now, what we means with metaverse is user can generate their own virtual world. Just like in physical world, we can create our hardwares or any types of asset with our effort. In UGC games, users can create their own set of avatars, characters, assets. Like you can see in my background, there was a billboard or some asset. User can directly create those assets without any developer interventions. With the AI, things have become much more easier for a developer than before. If you have some good set of knowledge, but then again, there is a risk with the software market that you need to also scope on it. That with the AI, there was a research happening back in 2022 and 2023. Just 90% of software developers in India are not good software developers,
Okay.
and they are somehow become the software developer because their parents want them to become software developers, not passion, or they follow the general trend. With the AI becoming more stronger, they need to look for other jobs or becoming a better prompt engineers. And
Right.
here the scope with gaming comes because gaming is a new market with India. Gaming companies needs a lot of talent.
Right.
One of my biggest learning I learned from my experiences, the leaders create leaders,
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
that's the principle Gorakhpur moves on. Every person in Gorakhpur is forced to become a leader, to use his or her own mind. rather than asking. And we just ask for update. What is their update without allocating them any task. We once inform them that this is the goal, then they identify their daily usually tasks that they need to do.
Nice. So Shibam is asking one question. I did not even announce that I will open the house to Q&A, but Shibam is asking one question. I'll take that, Shibam, in a moment. I was going to say leaders create leaders is one of the values of my past few companies. Like I have seen that value coming up again and again at Microsoft, and then at Apple, and then even MongoDB. So I have seen that value coming in, and even I tried my best to create leaders like they can take their own decisions. And yeah, so that's something which came out in that in this podcast, and it is a very nice advice to everyone. And we do not hire people to follow our orders, but yeah, there is a little bit of anarchy when you are a startup founder, but we hire people to think and act and take decisions for us, right? And be
Exactly.
individual owners. And as and leaders, like leaders create a lot of leaders. So yeah, going on to Q&A from the audience. What is the best advice for a new entrepreneur?
Identify problems, because when we and not run behind investment. We see Shark Tanks and many other TV shows which are mostly focused on valuation and investment. In search of profitability, sometimes we lose innovations because we want a quick money. In
Yes.
US, the trend is opposite. There are certain companies which are very much successful, but they started generating revenue very much later. Even if we compare ChatGPT, they are still in non-profitability zone. They are getting a lot of user, creating a lot of value, but it's still not profitable. So when we identified a problem, and the problem can be anything, it does not need to be a big problem. It just need to be a little improvement in user experience. And if we identified a problem from a user perspective, we need to find a team. And finding a team is much more difficult than finding a problem. You can find a problem. Anything that you face is a problem if you did not find any tool. But when you need to convince persons who need to dedicate their even 1 month of time for a particular solution you need to build, that's a difficult task. And when you compare with those who are dedicating 2 to 3 years of their life for the purpose, is incredible. When you are done with the team finding and problem finding, the third part comes is pathway. You have both. Now you need a idea of what you need to exactly do with both the problem and the team. And here the business model comes. You need to identify a business model. It took me around a year to identify a good business model, and I was like, any good idea did not coming to my mind is, am I dull? So once the good idea hit, the things become a magic. And the magic lies not in the destination, is lies in the journey. You need to enjoy your journey of what you are going through, because once you reach the destination you forget all your pain. And right now is the time you need to enjoy the passing on scenery journey or anything.
Absolutely. That was very, very nicely put. So, Shibam, if you got it, I will also reiterate in my words. So, look for the problem which you are passionate to solve. Try to solve that. Look for great people who can, build this idea with you. Try to bootstrap first. And if don't think about raising the funding from the very beginning, but first see how can you solve the problem. Will it be a market fit? Are you really fixing the gaps which exist in the market? And then go on to raise funds if you need it, and enjoy the journey, because it is a hard journey and nobody is dull. Gauravji, even I am like, am I dull? I'm not able to do this much in last 4 months. I'm not able to achieve this. I'm not getting ideas. I'm not getting the perfect business model which I should be following for Devil Squad, or should I be having another company for the product I'm building instead. So these kind of things comes on a day-to-day basis. So I think what keeps me going is discipline. That I have been in this journey, I have decided to be there for 2 years for at least. That is what keeps me going. And I am also stopping myself from taking the funding, because with the funding comes the dilution of the equity as well as a lot of responsibility, right? You are answerable to so many people, so it's not like okay, you will get funding and everything will be magic. No, the actual magic is in solving the problem and solving it the way the customer actually wants. So that is some of the advices I think Gaurav ji gave, and then I just reiterated. When was the release date of the game? So it's a Red Devil Gamer. Next question, Gaurav ji. When was the release date of the game?
So
When is the release date, I think?
that's a difficult part, and technically there are certain limitations or problems that we got encountered in between, like some Google API SDK update or Unreal Engine update, or some limitations from our developer. But we are releasing our starting our pre-registration on Play Store from October, and the game will be definitely released for beta in January 2025.
Awesome. We'll be waiting. And my
Yes.
husband has asked me so many times, since you are partnering with Gaurav Technologies, are we getting a free game CD? So he has asked me that question more than he has asked me about how are you. So are we getting any game CDs, Gaurav ji? Are you shipping any game CDs for free when you launch in January 2025?
Definitely. And the best part of our game, I will ask my team to share a avatar. You can have your own avatar inside the game. So when we share this feature with the influencers, they are just like wow. They are playing first time any game with their own facial characters, and they have just imagining the time when they will be streaming the game with their own face avatars and the Indian environment.
Wow.
And we are working constantly for making all these things possible, and thanks to him for asking multiple times about Gaurav Cook and Sena.
He's asking me every time I'm mentioning Gaurav Go Technology. He asks me, and he really asked me. I'm not making it all up,
Yeah,
but yeah, he's eagerly waiting for the release of this game, and having that CD, or if it is having a PlayStation version later on, he'll be interested in that too. So, do you also plan to release any PlayStation or Xbox versions later on?
yeah, definitely. Uh, there is a limited graphical complexity because in mobile, what we need to package a game with a very low set of graphics but good quality. They need to be low, provide a low pressure on mobile hardware. But when we go for PC device or PlayStation device, we just need to upscale everything. And from a designer perspective, it took certain times for us, but yeah, we are working on it for making it possible for PC and PlayStations.
That's really good, and I wish you all the best. I wish the entire team and you all the very very best. I am hoping to see all the game versions out live in 2025. We playing it, I mean I watching it, we playing it. I am not a gamer. Any more questions from the audience? I'm looking for more questions, Gauravji, because I had a lot of good questions which I could ask. And I am thinking like I'll do another podcast with you and someone from your team as well come in, and maybe your CTO, and they can talk about more like how they form teams, what kind of teams verticals you have in your engineering team, and we can have a separate podcast on that.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Maybe this month in September, or later than that. I'm planning to do a podcast weekly or every 2 weeks. So this is my first, and I'm just starting to host a podcast. This was my really my very first podcast which I've hosted. Otherwise, I'll just be a guest, and I'll speak like I'll answer the questions whatever are asked. So thank you for joining me for the first podcast. I'm really obliged and thankful and happy that you shared the stage with me. You shared things wherein you have similar feelings about building a startup. So I was very happy to talk to you. I was very scared in the beginning because I was like, okay, what will I talk about gaming? And then I used a little bit of generative AI to understand. Okay, what should I talk to you? And yeah. So I was like, okay, let me go and do it, and maybe Gaurav ji will guide me what I should be asking and what should be talking. And it was very dynamic. We did not prepare much before this, so it went really well, as per me. And I think we crossed about 200 plus views. I think there at a time I saw 243 people listening to us. So that was a yay moment for me, at least. And we have one last question. I think we can take this one. Red Devil Gamer again asking us that can we create our own character? I think you answered that, but I think you can reiterate the answer. So, can we create our own face character?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone can create their own face character, their own dresses, and they can play the game, and they can enjoy in a real time. Persons, we need to imagine a time when people's playing with each other, their own characters, with their own friend having the same character. How the things will look like? It's just will look like a we are living in a movie world where we are enjoying a life that did not have any limitations, where we can experience anything freely, any fantasies we can make true with our own face or our friend face. And the best part is we are working constantly on it, and the technological upgrade are also supporting us in our favor, and we are making things soon possible. And for any audience who would like to their face on our game, just ping us on our Instagram and we will get back to you. And thanks a lot, Meghaji, for providing me this stage. Many of my members are also a big fan of your podcast, and they were watching your content on both LinkedIn and YouTube. Your contents were quite precise and useful, insightful for them. They have suggested before we are going into stage. I ask them the feedbacks and what shall I pitch or how shall I pitch the correct information. And they were like, "You are amazing to the point. Provide a huge knowledge to the viewers." And we are looking more from the Devril in upcoming times, both for the gaming and in other domains too. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Gaurav ji. Thank you so much for appreciating me so much. I don't deserve that much, but thank you very very much. Any closing notes you want to give to the audience, Gaurav ji, before we end the live stream? And I think we've got one last. Sonu Dyal is asking one question as well. So, how to get a fund support? I'm looking to open a sports startup, and he has asked that question, and I want you to answer that, and then give some closing notes for our audience today, and then we'll end it. So, just this last question, Sonu Dyal.
All right. So esports startups are like those startups who are connecting gamers with potential of earning. We see multiple influencers right now in India. They are earning a lot, but behind them there is an agency or a startup handling their social media and other profiles. What this startups do is that they organize e-sport competitions in various colleges, locations, connect with the companies who those are sponsoring some good. So getting the fund support are multiple sources. First is getting some for one who is in esports and connect sharing your idea. The second is getting some big influencer directly onboarded as one of the mentor, director, partner, because they have the source of fund. They can which fund provide the money early on. And the last part comes on is getting support from some AICs or government bodies or the state bodies. The best part in Hyderabad is now the gaming hub of the company. Half of the gaming companies is there in Hyderabad, and also the government in both Telangana and Kerala have a separate gaming policies where they have subsequent allocated amount of fund for gaming promotion or e-sport promotion. With the coming of Olympics in esports in Olympics, there are some fund bodies in UAE and Qatar who are also interested in funding the these esports started the same way they used to fund football leagues, and there's a huge potential ahead of us. The people's changing ahead because if the Arab Sheikhs started funding these domains like they used to fund the football leagues or cricket leagues, their things will go much faster than we imagine.
Nice. I did not know about Arab Sheikhs, funding such startups. So yeah, it's a new thing I got to know today. I learned so much from you today, Gauravji. And so Sonu, thank you for asking that question. Any closing notes, Gaurav, you have? I'm not calling you Gauravji in the last thing. I am calling you by name. So any closing notes?
So the closing part from my side is belief. Anything that you can believe is you can achieve. The winning or defeating happens in mind. If you decide that you have to win, you need to go. And if you decide on a first stage that yeah, this is difficult, the things are going to be difficult, and in some way you got to be defeated. But if you decide that yeah, things are going to be difficult, but I need to keep going, you will keep go and achieve. And I'll also request the audience to follow Meghaji and or subscribe the channel because she share a lot of useful content and provide a real-time guidance. Because when you are watching certain other podcasts, there are quite of useful podcasts available, but the real industry sense comes from someone who is from industry advocate, have the experience of advocating for the developers and sharing the market or insight. And so, thanks a lot, Meghaji, and that's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Gaurav ji, and I'm thankful, obliged, and heartfelt thanks for coming on to the first podcast I did and sharing so many insights. I got to learn so many things I did not know, and I'm sure the audience learned a lot today as well. So keep following me and Gaurav ji, and our my handles all over all socials are Devrel Mega. Gaurav ji, can you spell out your handle so that we can, put it in the comments? I can paste a comment. What is your handle?
For LinkedIn, it's just LinkedIn slash Dipesh Gaurav.
Devesh Gaurav. LinkedIn slash Dipesh Gaurav is Dipesh Gaurav ji's handle, and Gaurav Go Technologies. You can just search for Gaurav Go Technologies. Their site have their all socials, and you can follow them on Insta. They have a huge followership on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So you can follow them there. And we will meet you either next week or next to next week. I have to find someone who will come on the podcast. And I love talking. I'll be back. Thank you so much for joining in. We had a whopping 270 people at one time. So thank you so much. If you have any comments, any feedback, my LinkedIn profile, DM me or comment on this post. And looking forward to seeing you again. And thank you again, Gauravji, for joining me. And thank you everyone for joining us. It was a very, very wonderful podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.